Hey guys, Tristan here, and for this video we have Raven's level 4 upgrade. For this video we have the RPM front shock tower that we'll be installing onto her. All that's going to be in the package is going to be the front shock tower, the stickers, and then the person who packaged it. To get to the shock tower, we're going to want to separate the front suspension from the chassis, and it's going to be held on with 4 screws. There's going to be 2 here on top in the front of the chassis. And there's going to be 2 at the bottom where the bulkhead meets the skid plate. You're also going to want to remove the 2 screws that hold the skid plate to the chassis. This way, while you're removing your suspension, you don't break your skid plate. With all those screws removed, we should be able to easily turn the suspension on the chassis and take it off. Now, if it's going to be easier for you, you can also go ahead and remove the 1 nut that holds the toe links to the steering blocks. Now that we're separate from the chassis, we can now go ahead and remove the 8 screws that hold everything to the shock tower. There's going to be 2 that hold the shock tower to the bulkhead. There's going to be 1 for each camber link to hold those in place. There's going to be 2 for the body mounts, as well as there's going to be 1 for each of the 2 shocks. Alright guys, and here we have the old shock tower compared to the new one. So obviously the first thing I see, besides, well, just the material, is the shape. Overall shape is about the same except for the little uprights for the shocks. They're curved on the RPM, whereas they're just straight on the stock one. There's not that much inside support on the RPM one, but this inner wall right here that shows up in the front but not in the back is a lot thicker on the RPM. That and the outline edging and the inside supports are a lot thicker on the RPM than they are on the stock one. Overall, I think it's going to do a whole lot better. It's going to last a lot longer. And we all know RPM, they have very good high quality nylon plastics, so it will last a good long time. So, without any more waiting around, let's get this installed, putting in the same 8 screws that we had before. 2 down here at the bulkhead, 1 for each camber link, 2 at the top for the body mounts, and then the 1 on the top of each shock. Before I reattach the front suspension to the chassis, I'm going to take our toe links, slide them onto the screw of the steering block, and put on top a 5.5mm nut. Like how we took it off, we're going to want to turn the suspension to a slant to slide the front of the chassis through the shock tower. Then you're going to want to take 2 large screws and screw the top of the bulkhead to the chassis. Now the last thing I just need to do is to take our bottom skid plate, put it right on over where it's supposed to go, and screw in the 4 screws that hold it into place. Here is before. Alright guys, and here is after. Check it out. I gotta say, it looks pretty darn good. Definitely putting it back together was a lot easier with the fact that the shock tires are curved like that, which is very nice because getting the chassis through the front can be a pain, especially if you have the front skid plate in place, because you can end up actually breaking that part if you're not careful. But yeah guys, so I gotta say, it looks pretty good. It's going to keep my suspension nice and sturdy, at least the shock part, because yeah, that's a very high strain part, having to go through all that to get to these. So I'm really excited. I know this will hold up to anything I put this through, especially the front. But guys, yeah, so this was part 4.